Hello, welcome to the Unplayable Podcast. Australia have wrapped up the Frank Worrell Trophy with a 133-run victory in Grenada. Jack Paynter is there. And Jack, how did day 4 play out at the National Cricket Stadium?
Morning, Josh. Well, yeah, it was just a little bit inevitable in the end, I think. Once the pitch started playing a lot of tricks, it was, shooting underground. It felt like every third or fourth ball was doing something different. And at that point, it just became a matter of time for the West Indies to, fold, I guess, under the relentless pressure of the Aussie attack. They gave it a good crack. They threw the bat around a little bit. Roston Chase, Shea Hope hit a couple of boundaries, a couple of sixes in there as well. Shamar Joseph added another 3 sixes to his tally. But in the end, the class of the Australian bowlers was just too good, and it was quite a comfortable win in the end.
Nice. What was the moment of the day?
Moment of the day would have to be the win, I think. It was a pretty good catch by Nathan Lyon, running back with the flight over his head because they had the field spread quite a bit at the end. It was his third wicket in a row. He got the last 3 wickets of the test to move within one of Glenn McGrath in second place on the all-time wicket takers tally for Australia with 563. He's on 562, so that's one to watch for next test. But it was a pretty clinical display in the end by the Aussies after a set up yesterday by Cameron Green and Steve Smith's pretty good partnership.
And so of the Aussie bowlers, who was the best today? Who really took your eye?
I think it was a combination. Like, they've just been so good at bowling as a group, as a collective, as an attack. Josh Hazlewood picked up 2 wickets, one in his first over again, as he did in the first innings. Mitchell Starc got a wicket with the new ball, and then Pat Cummins come on and bowled an absolute peach of a delivery to dismiss Brandon King. That he looked quite good again. He was one of the probably the most fluent in the whole test for the West Indies, and then ultimately just got an unplayable delivery from Pat Cummins that angled in, decked away, and hit the top of off, as he does so often throughout his test career. It's just I don't know how he could have hit it. So that was just, I guess, emblematic of how well the Aussies are going as a group, as a collective attack. And then Lyon just came in at the end and had a couple of wickets caught on the boundary, and then a pretty good catch to finish it off.
Cummins must average 1 or 2 of those balls per series. It's just incredible, the consistency which he delivers those. And as you say, no chance of playing it, whether the pitch is doing a lot or doing not much at all.
Yeah, I'd hate to be facing. It was probably one of the ones that bounced the most normally for the whole innings, but obviously it seemed sideways, and no hope for Brandon King. So as I touched on, it was a great collective effort, but sort of built on the back of the batting yesterday, which for the first time in the series we really saw the bat dominate the ball for that extended period when Cameron Green and Steve Smith were batting together. Both got half centuries, so that kind of set up the game. The West Indies didn't really have that in their second innings. They fell away completely in the end. 7 for 99 they were. A couple of late blows from Shamar Joseph got them up to 143, which was 2 more than what they managed when they collapsed in the second innings in Barbados last test. So improving signs there for the West Indies, but they were no match for the Aussies in this test.
Well, the scorecard between the first 2 matches has been incredibly similar. I mean, first innings scores pretty even, and then Australia get a good third innings score before the West Indies fall in the fourth innings. I saw in your live blog updates that you mentioned the pitch was a bit diabolical with the bounce. Just how important was winning that toss and batting first?
I think it was crucial, and because we saw on day 1, Cummins got a ball that wrapped him on the ankles, and he was sort of bowled with it rebounding off the pad. So it was playing tricks the whole game. So that toss in the end proved pretty crucial. And as you say, the West Indies just haven't been able to match Australia in the second innings. Just shows the class of the Australian side. They're able to figure out a way to score runs in the second innings when the pitch is getting tricky to bat on. And Steve Smith's innings yesterday was just a class above. Like, he just found a way to score fluently. Cameron Green said it last night. It looked like he was batting on a different wicket to what he was, just that how he was able to score his runs. So that's a huge plus for the Aussies to have Smith back in their side as they go into another test where they're not quite sure what they're going to get. It's their first away test, pink ball away test with a Dukes ball. They've never played with that before in Jamaica, of course, starting on Saturday. So that's going to be one to watch as well. But they've wrapped up the series already, so it gives them a bit of leeway to sort of find their way into that game as well.
And as you say, it's not a massive turnaround between the next test as well. But after bowling out the West Indies in 34.3 overs, it's not been a massive workload for the Quicks either. So what's your take on how they'll manage those bowlers?
No, just 8 overs each for the big three quicks in that second innings. Low 20s for the entire game. So you'd have to tip that they were going to back up again. Mitchell Stark's 100th Test match as well coming up in Jamaica, so he won't want to miss that. The other two obviously won't want to miss that, playing alongside him for so long throughout their careers. So I guess, they're all feeling good. It depends on how they pull up over the next few days, but I'd say it looks like it'll be a pretty similar side for Australia going into that third match of the series.
Kit watch has been an important part of this series, Jack, and I want to ask you about one of the players' kits today. I saw a picture of Kraigg Brathwaite in his 100th Test match batting with sunglasses. Now, I've seen Chris Gale do that in maybe a T20, but I don't think I've ever seen that in a Test match. What was going on out there?
Oh, it was incredible, wasn't it? I think only a West Indian player could pull that off. Only those guys would be cool enough to do that. It was quite a sight, really. I've seen it before in club cricket in the country back in Australia. A guy was batting in a floppy hat and his sunnies. So Craig's got a bit to go to match that level. But I think it was just to do with the glare. It's quite bright here. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can probably see me looking into the camera now and squinting a little bit. But it just must have been the light off the pitch. He felt that the sunnies was the best option to try and see the ball. Apparently, according to the host broadcaster, he'd done it before in a Test match, but it didn't work for him on this occasion. He was out caught behind shortly after, so him and his sunnies had to trudge off.
Then one of the highlights of day two, when you wrapped up the day with Adam White, was the dog on the pitch, and I believe there was another canine intervention today.
We had another dog. I don't know what's going on here in Grenada. It's a bit of a park cricket feel sometimes. You got balls shooting low off the surface. You got dogs wandering out to deep cover. Who knows what's going on in the crowd here. But this one was a bit more tamed. It sort of stood around cover, wandered across behind the bowler. I don't actually think they stopped. I think he was still on the field when Cummins ran into bowl the next ball, but he kind of just wandered through the gate and made his way into the pavilion area. Don't know who he spotted or who he saw, but it was just another one of those quirky moments in a Test, full of what seemed to be, just unique situations.
We had that bird on the field in the first Test. We had dogs in the second. What are we going to get in the third in Jamaica? Can't wait to find out. Who else have you spotted in the crowd in this one, Jack, as well?
Well, I saw an Aussie bloke in the crowd. He had an Australian flag sort of hanging from the stands, and he also had a bit of a banner there next to him. So he must have been communicating with either his partner or his wife or sister or mum back in Australia, who might have been watching on the broadcast, because the sign said, "Kate, it's bin night." So either Kate forgets about the bins a lot, or just needed reminding. But that was pretty funny. Only an Aussie would be able to do that, I think. So
very helpful for Kate. So hopefully she was watching. Hopefully she was listening, as I can see the ground staff peeling off the foam Toblerones off the rope behind you, Jack. We'll just finish with the lunch menu update from Grenada. Did you go out with a bang on day 4?
Surprise, surprise. It was more chicken and rice for our listeners today. There was a bit of noodle as well, but just the staples they're sticking quite true to here. But actually, we had a little bit of a treat this morning. Some leftover pizza and garlic bread from the Aussie press pack here. They had a movie night last night. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but they did a rewatch of Cool Runnings ahead of heading to Jamaica next week. So they ordered a few pizzas and obviously ordered too much. So they shared that around this morning, which was quite good.
Wow. And I hear the press pack has a bit of a treat on its hands for day 5, Jack. What's going on?
We do, yeah. We've managed to commandeer the pitch here. The match is finished early. So we're supposed to play on the day before the match, but there's not many cricket grounds here in Grenada. So when they went to check out that one, it was a bit of a mud pit, hadn't been rolled. There was no grass on it, so we had to postpone the match. But we managed to talk our way onto the National Stadium surface here. So who knows what we could get tomorrow on day 5. There might not be too much bounce in it. I might just be banging it in back of a length, trying to hit some people on the ankles. But it should be good fun.
Might not need the helmet tomorrow then, Jack. I reckon you'll be fine without it.
Yeah,
the floppy and the sunglasses might be good for you.
Yeah, that's right. And just before we wrap up, Josh, I might give a huge shout out to Adam White for filling in over the first few days. Obviously, absolute cricket nuff. He loves it here. And all of our listeners can, of course, keep up to date with his work on the Surge Big Bash podcast and cricket.com.au Sheffield Shield coverage during the summer. But how was your weekend? Did you nice few days off?
It was very enjoyable, mate. Had some family up to run the half marathon here in the Gold Coast, and so it was a successful weekend for everyone.
Very good. How'd you go?
I was happy with my time. Let's just say that.
Good stuff.
This has been the Unplayable Podcast from Grenada. Jack will touch base with you at Sabina Park in Jamaica.